We live in a world where all the things we face are of no news. That is to say, there is nothing new you're going through that someone hasn't gone through before, which means all our circumstances are answerable. So we ask, is there something bothering you that you need answers to? Situations you think you can be removed from? No sober motivations to get you started? This is why we bring you untold stories. Stories of men that have been hidden all this while. Together with our guests, we wish to let out the stories we know are similar to yours and showing ways they can be overcome. Log in to Facebook and YouTube every Thursday at 8 p.m. on Reality Lab TV as we delve proper into these stories we are certain can spur you up to full actualization. Discover yourself now. Reality Lab TV, your journey to self-discovery.
Hello everybody and welcome to Reality Lab, and this is Untold Stories season 2 of the talk show, and here we have episode 6, and today we decided to change our location and we are out here on a very rainy, unusual November, and we have a very illustrious gentleman who will be interviewing today, trying to know his story, his background, and what he's been doing so far in the nation and the world at large. So stay locked in as we give to you our very guest.
We live in a world where all the things we face are of no news. That is to say, there is nothing new you're going through that someone hasn't gone through before, which means all our circumstances are answerable. So we ask, is there something bothering you that you need answers to? Situations you think you can be removed from? No sober motivations to get you started? This is why we bring you untold stories. Stories of men that have been hidden all this while. Together with our guests, we wish to let out the stories we know are similar to yours and showing ways they can be overcome. Log in to Facebook and YouTube every Thursday at 8 p.m. on Reality Lab TV as we delve proper into these stories we are certain can spur you up to full actualization. Discover yourself now. Reality Lab TV, your journey to self-discovery.
Welcome everybody, and this is Reality Lab, and this is episode 6 of Untold Stories. And here today I'm having a gentleman who is not as a person but HAROLD NAT-Johnson. Of course, he's a musician and he's also schooled. He went to the Frabe College and has already backed his degree, and he has been doing music for his rest for the, like half of his life or almost all of his life, and he will tell us most of that, and we could get to know about his schooling background and how arts in general has cooperated with all of his pathway. So, Sarah, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hello, guys.
So, we want to digest on the topic, the War of Arts. I know generally you have been working with a lot of people in different sectors in the art industry. So, on your own level, Tam, what can you say about the word arts?
Well, una kushe wa motel. And
Well, I will talk this panko.
Alright.
So, art basically, for basic definition, we call it creativity. And creativity, whatsoever you don't envision within you, it can be visual arts, things that we see, like paintings and sculpture or whatsoever. It can be poem, it can be music. So art can deal with a lot of creativity or create.
Okay. All right. So, what specific arts have you been? I told people earlier that you are a musician. So maybe I don't know. Maybe you're also drawing artist. Maybe you're also, dancing. I don't know. So tell us about what is the major arts you have been developing throughout the years.
Well, majorly music, but there is something funny with about arts where when you're born and there's a deposit of this artistic feel in you, you get a little bit
Of all this
it's difficult to make you see person where they do arts and one something sabi do. So it just depends on waiting you concentrate on, that you create it. So for example, for me, I could remember in my early years I made a draw. Like I really made a draw in my early years, and I still write points, and majorly I did with music.
Okay. All right. So we want to take you back to your childhood. Your childhood when you were coming up. How has music affected you since you were a child? How did it started? What actually prompted that gift within you? Was it something that was in your lineage, your family lineage, or was it something that was just developed, maybe consciously or subconsciously? Tell us about it.
Well, for me, the platform for music made already there before me even born. You understand? Because my great grandpa, I've been musician in a way, organist, choir director, grandpa. The lineage continued to my papa and everything. And so when I'm born, I should say one of my first toys that I've been playing with the piano,
Not so gone.
well, I mean the play with guns and
Okay,
everything,
okay.
guns and but
You
I mean, get piano
opportune to
as
get piano
young
as a
as I
toy.
was, and it was a four octave Casio. I can remember 4 octave Casio. This was back in 1997, 1998, and so I mean get that, and Papa go begin learn me simple do re mi and everything. My grandpa me get organ and also so I can go there and go play and everything. So subconsciously as a child, because when you born as speaking, you na blank page. You understand? Waiting you family writes on you, or waiting your friends or the community or what you dey see, they impact you to a big age. So yeah.
Okay. So upon growing up, did you ever thought if it that okay, when I dey come up so, music will be one of the major things that I will do in my life. I think this is my purpose, this is what I should do, this is what I'm going to engage in the rest of my life. You actually get that thought today?
Okay, so me and course with my friends thinking because I get a lot of crazy ideas. When they come up, music for me I'm just hobby. I mean something I will come out school and can't touch church and play and get interesting. It was not really something because as a child and the country where you're born, not something where the student and the vision say, oh I want to be musician at that time and I be want to be pilot. That's my first thing. I read a lot of aviation books back in junior, secondary, and even that day I make a go sciences whatsoever. But I'm not maybe for pursue that day, but during that process I begin increase in musical knowledge, begin the practice and everything, and it's all self-taught. Like I don't ever go music school or anything of the sort. So way back before YouTube ever came or the internet came,
Like I did so now.
it was what you the people in the play. It was you ask your friend, say, show me this. It was going to the game, then 10 a day, and you download a page of chords and you practice and say it not been that. So I could remember it was the period between my final exams in secondary school like WAS and college. I think to say I really can't get this desire for follow music to that because I can realize I good on this thing, I good on this thing. People they admire me, I did touch a lot of lives, but these people they meet me a lot say, oh teach me, show me and all that thing. And I say, okay, this is something one can make a living out of, or one can make money out of in the future. So then thoughts and they begin coming. It was at that point, this was back in 2011, I remember, when I actually decided for taking this serious.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. This was your decision. So I want to take on to this other level. We are in a society where most of the time our parents want us to do things that they think that we should do, not things that we think that we are called to do. So how actually affects you? Maybe from your primary, okay, you say when you reach secondary, that was the time you started thinking, as in leaving your final exams to what you call it. So from then and there, how you parents them, in as much as I know your daddy play parts for learning the liver, so blah blah as you were young, but there's a level of grabbing of the idea, say okay, I want let me pick and do this. When okay actually they. So are you able to manage? Was it so first? And if so, are you able to manage that situation for like today in this path of arts where you don't take like your life now and all? How are you able to manage this whole situation?
Okay. So,
Before you answer, because it is very important that we're able to address this, because I believe a lot of people they go through this thing. I know a lot of young people we want sing, do music generally as their own thing, but quickly and beats and go old book. You not music not to better thing as salon go try for be this type of be doctor whatever. So are you able for? Sorry about calling you.
So make I let you out on a secret, and make I let una out on a secret. Back in college, I mean they do a module renamed HBSE, mean human behavior in the social environment. So there was an example we go and see if Michael Jackson was born in Sierra Leone, for me ever be Michael Jackson. You understand where I mean? If we get the talent for singing or whatsoever, but the extent to which a career go with them. And then make an example, say if this other person with day yonder. So what you try to say is, who's are you born? Get a lot for do, it's who that you will become. And you yourself get for a lot for do to wait in the environment will become. So the music climate and salon, not really a climate where you really want for anybody can gladly and say, I want to be a professional in this field, or I want to take a full-time career in this. To be very honest, it's very difficult. And so most of the time we with parents can say, I want to make you go this path, not so because they really want for wicked way or want for force way, and because they don't live longer, they don't know a lot of things, and they don't know waiting better and waiting not better, and so they can try for advice we in that line there, even though waiting we really want for do can good. So they can try, no parents want for making picking at the end of the day, see they do better thing within life. So you advise no go do this, but you like something and you want for pursue. So for me, music always in my family. And moving on, after I take my final exams at secondary school, I'm a day now when I want to go to a music school. I really want to go pursue music. And then at some point I may get some problem because my papa they say no, you need to get a college education. At that point, I'm not able to understand. Just like how when he said discipline, when discipline they go, you really understand. At that point I was like, oh no, I want to go directly to go to university. No, I want to make you get this education. And when I went to the university, I began to realize it was a good thing for me to actually go. Because it's not only for a musician, make I just say this. It's not only good for me to just know about music, it's really good for me to know about probably all other things. Or a lot of things. Because you want to sit on a table with lawyers and doctors and engineers, and when they talk with social scientists, and when they talk, you're able for talk and that conversation day. Not just sit there and just say, oh well, me I'm a musician, and because it affects a lot of musicians nowadays. They're not able to function well in other capacities because of waiting. Because you just think to say, this. No. I advise everyone out there, if you're out there and you really get passion, you get this talent, go on, get an education, find an interesting other career path, and learn them. You're not going to know what's going to happen, because the Bible itself talks. It says, sow your seed in the morning and in the afternoon. It says, you're not going to know someone will benefit you. So it can good. Not be that person way, because what's not the problem of musicians at this country where a lot of parents make them picking and go into music. The one the way they don't see, where they consider themselves as musicians, they don't get good lifestyle. They don't live good, they're not intelligent, you understand? 2-3 bubble because you don't go to the studio, you don't sing now, you know what I mean? You don't begin to do all kinds of things. And parents don't want Sunday for them picking. So I believe it was a challenge for me, and I was young. But going on, I can't understand say important. Even if you get the degree and not user, but nobody will cost you.
It's the knowledge.
Nobody will cost you not to work out. Nobody will say you not to work out because you want for that. One day also, even with the degree and whatsoever thing I don't do, I want to do more. I want to get more. I want to probably do another degree, probably do a master's. So at the end of the day, yes, you're a musician, but you get respect. Respect. Now they make people invalid.
Because you know, be categorized, you go do the music because this is not successful for you. Now you make you go do, or you just do a part or whatever.
Fine.
Alright. So it will be like a 2 baskets, but you just try to choose one number you think you're better interested into.
Exactly.
Alright, that's good. Alright, so in our society today, I believe there are a lot of ills, like a lot of things them way don't spoil the arts industry. A lot of vices we don't they see in the past. Like one we just talked is that people and by the examples they don't see, the results they don't see. I don't make like even the parents and mind don't be castigated about these things, especially in arts. They go see somebody with a drawing an artist, say okay this person here so when I Rastaman and no more they do and then Rastaman they smoke, they drink, they this. They always get that mentality there. So I believe say we as young people then there is a need for a little change in narrative and begin to do better things. So like now one of the reasons and the way we could call people that like for able for help other young people and the way my day in that same career path they for change their mindset. So when are some of the things that we don't spot out as a musician we don't do throughout from when you young up to this moment, when are some of the pitfalls that we don't think say don't they affect well specifically the music industry as alone and maybe just touch light on the arts in general.
Alright. So for the one them way they know me, where they follow me on social media, they know say me na person way very controversial and a critic. So if something not they go right, especially music, I go do it right up and right arm and I ready for defender right up the any side and talk am. Make I just say something. When I begin learning guitar, because guitar is my primary instrument. I dey play piano but not so really my primary instrument. I could remember a comment from person. He tell me say, Harold, na the grandpa instrument you Angolan. You understand? Because all me don't they see, now old frail people will look one kind way. Now they no more they play that instrument. It was when I begin play guitar as a young man. I see a lot of young people then begin say, oh this so this guitar they keep playing so those are just this way then they play. You understand? So this schema me don't they pan people and say this stereotype don't they say no now then people that they do this there. So when me can they it was difficult for me. And so coming to your question now when the industry first of all industry when they say an industry like conglomerate of institutions where they produce a similar service or good where they come together. So you go say this is an industry. Sadly and salon nothing to do together. So I can really find it funny when they say the music industry. Because I don't see the different factions there. It's where they produce this similar good or this service, we don't come together. We don't really get that oneness there. So it's best to let for refer to as industry. Not just the people.
Well, I would think so then they, but the togetherness, that's the problem.
Fine.
Not they.
So now when they
come
together get
produce
a
the same-
strong leadership, you understand?
With the
Get
sole aim of producing the same
principles,
thing.
then get
Structure.
structure. Now we will call an industry. You understand? So person will go today, he go sing blah 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 na mic.
The common.
He just come on and do any kind of way. You understand? With no regulatory body, no nothing. So
We able to screen the music.
where we screen and say, well no, this is not good for so me not they say there is not an industry for other people.
From your own view,
From your own
you
view,
don't think say
we dey try.
Yeah.
Individually in a salon, we dey try on for which we dey do. But we not get that industry level date. And because I think you say because we really dey try for talk about industry most of the time, they come with other problem there. And so many of the pitfalls then we make like I say the industry thing not even get value. It come back to the personal life of the musician. Waiting because I can tell people and say there's a difference between music lifestyle and the arts. There's a music lifestyle, there's a lifestyle way associated with music. Where people most people they sing. But when it comes to the arts, you will be surprised say a lot of people say they're not musicians and they sing. They're not sabi sing the simple tonic solfa. Some man will sing past one key. Some man in breath if you sing it's terrible. But a musician. You understand? He's self-convinced say a musician. What thing that happen is when you be faced with an international artist where really taking art serious, then you know say you know they do nothing. You understand? Oh, salon music not they go before. Hey, blah blah. We know they patronize salon music. They're not the practice. We are not the practice. If you say that this you they do, make sure say put your hands to her. You go on her. Music now like na living organism. You need for feeder. You need for get fresh air or make it grow. You don't go. It's just like getting a gym. You don't gym 1 month, you don't big. You sit down for 6 months. You say because I don't go to gym. You go dry back. You understand?
Yes.
You go dry back. So na constant.
It's a consistent
I can
something.
call am a daily dose of growth. You no need for do am 5 hours per day. Now you sometimes you 30 minutes. You make sure say you go na YouTube. Now the world is a global village. You go na YouTube. If you na voice you deal with, you make sure say you take care of your voice. Not to any kind of fufu and granite. You do the charming, you kind way. They wan go sing at the end of the day. They for clap for you. You know they work so. You know they work so. And so now one of the major pitfalls then, the self-discipline, the seriousness of the art. You understand?
Yeah.
People enjoy just say, oh, we can't put to music now. You know what I mean? Get me tattoo, you know what I mean? Get me chain, the bling. That's not the lifestyle, not get nothing to do to your art. Because at the end of the day, if your art's not good, people they know they really try for buy into your art. Now the next thing, the market. That's alone. Because for anything for tribe, there should be a market. I think we try. Population gets a lot for do with the market because population really small as opposed to Nigeria. If one going states in Nigeria then buy one artist in song or whatsoever, they realize something.
When Salou small, but not even over
Yes,
population.
even when it's small, the population will really they pay attention to say okay, we love support the artists. Not really Boku.
Yeah.
So we market
And sometimes just categorize to a particular sexual region.
or region, fine. So some song then na free song more the hits.
Yeah.
Some song then they na amongst. I get a friend we do a very beautiful song for Sierra Leone. Now amongst friends, you understand? A very beautiful
League
song.
of Friends.
Yes, international standard song, but you know we get this. I don't know some police idea. I play that song in I made some side, and I play that song. And person tell me say, pull it back in song, a very good song. But we dey sit down and listen to Sam Smith. We dey listen to Ed Sheeran. But when you salon boy that sing something like Ed Sheeran, you don't want to listen now. I make
And that on.
you understand? They say na dance we like na salon, na beating now we like we dance. So people then na say alone, we really they do a lot of good with their art. I think also we need the support again. People that need for the same way they take reward Ed Sheeran. If that person is get the same talent and whatsoever, watch out with that same idea, go in show, buy in music. So the third thing I talk, the platform, the avenues for me the artists make money, not they. We not get regulated, but we go say, okay, this person way don't wait self, we go make sure so we sell in DVD so or we make online. It not really that day. So at the end of the day, you actually put out good song, good arts out there, and you don't make money out of it.
All right, so we want to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll be talking about you and your guitar, how your guitar has been an instrument that you have been using to propagate music in different levels. Stay tuned.
All right, thank you.
We live in a world where all the things we face are of no news. That is to say, there is nothing new you're going through that someone hasn't gone through before, which means all our circumstances are answerable. So we ask, is there something bothering you that you need answers to? Situations you think you can be removed from? No sober motivations to get you started? This is why we bring you untold stories. Stories that mean that I've been hidden all this while. Together with our guests, we wish to let out the stories we know are similar to yours and showing ways they can be overcome. Log in to Facebook and YouTube every Thursday at 8 p.m. on Reality Lab TV as we delve proper into these stories we are certain can spur you up to full actualization. Discover yourself now. Reality Lab TV, your journey to self-discovery.
Welcome again, everybody, and this is Reality Lab episode 6, and I'm with Mr. HAROLD NAT-Johnson. So, a lot of people out there who might have known our very own guest here might have known him for one major instrument, which is guitar. So today, we want to know the story behind the guitar. We want to know how you emerged in just learning the guitar, and just paying attention to the guitar, and being a professional musician with this one instrument. Tell us a little bit about the guitar story.
Okay. So as I said earlier, begin indulge myself in music-related affairs at the age of 5. I can remember say, I don't mean really conscious that thing, but looking back at my pictures, I can really see I'm involved in that thing. So there was a certain time where I get this piano. You know, them piano can out presets them when I songs them. And what I made to do is songs they were not able to play. Like as speaking, the person kind of host to me, and they put the song, but they make like say I they play. So I may get this certain uncle way kind of host to me, and he say junior, I say call me, he say junior. I say you don't master this thing now. He say like guitar now you for that.
Okay.
That was the first time
You heard.
I had guitar. No me ever hear or know waiting a guitar. So after that, I begin to inquire. You understand? Begin to inquire. It's not guitar. It's not guitar. Doing anything, and they actually born at the east. I born at Kisi, so I'm still in at the east. When we come at the west, that was in 2003, 2004. I come there in alliance with a group of friends. You know Adnan Koma of next to us, yes. So I come meet them and we begin roll, and then I get access to one guitar when I be a friend with me there. And that guitar, they are not really know what to do. I mean, that's why they play when I cut of many colors. I mean, get a funny way they play. I don't really know what they do, what they play. I will just lay me hand across the frets and find the sound and everything. But I mean, don't get an interest, like I say, from my small. I'll notice from my small, even before they made the reference or mention guitar to me, I will go behind the freezer. You know, say freezer gets
line.
and I will take metal and they make music. They make sound. Then we get an egg cutter. Now that egg cutter they get strings where they put the egg in. Instead if you pluck and so they pull sound. So I mean they go from the mirror they make. After now I don't begin see people in a TV where they play guitar. Now I make my own guitar and the egg cutter. So I will use the egg cutters they make like say and they play. And so it really sparked me interest now in playing a Hillsong United.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm listening to a lot of Hillsong music and then get a lot of guitars. And I decided say, I want to play like how and they play so a Hillsong. And so when I get this guitar from my friend Adnan, I try for say okay I learn one or two things. At that time the guitars are not really beaucoup and plus not really for teach yourself if you want to teach. So what I don't learn from piano, basically I mean knowledge from piano and transfer to guitar. So songs they all you know sabi play from piano.
You just apply the
I just apply and so try for learn me small chords. So like I say I download me chord sheet and everything. But that guitar then I've been borrowed guitar, so not to be me own. So there was a certain time when I not get guitar, but I want for practice my chords then still. So I make guitar. So and not really the pull sound, but you get the structure of the guitar.
Okay.
So fillet, if you know fillet what they use for ceilings, I take fillet and put 6 tack nail and put them then I thread them 6 and make me fret, mark me fret for myself. So each time I do it is if I see our land, I know say I go land this position. I don't really need for know the sound. And the position I need for land. So I learn a couple of chords, a great amount of chords. With that mode. Say to some time later on now I can get access back to guitar. Now waiting I do now I get access to guitar and I just transfer the shapes there. Because the shapes are not the change. Are just the same. And so I transfer them. So from there I think I get my first complete guitar 2012. I'm there with a satin. I joined a satin band at that time and the man give me the guitar and I begin play at that time. But me playing starting in a funny way. Scripture Union school. I go scripture and there was this guitar, you know. I take her and they play for one song. And man then say, you know, hype now. Sammy they play this thing. So I go sit down and I say, this man they don't begin to say the play. So I big player. So that was the time I begin the. If I say I want to go through all the guitar story then the stages, we will not go come on here. So I try for short time.
Okay. So let me just ask you this. So throughout your years now you don't play this instrument. Basically, as a musician myself, I actually don't find that we get less of solo guitarists or acoustic guitarists in this country. So how does it feel to be among the few the few gifted guitarists in our nation? What do you take? How does it feel and what do you take? Because I know one way or the other there are disadvantages to that.
Of course. I know it's a twofold answer I get from you. Of course, if you did some side and you want to do something, to some extent you feel really good.
Yes.
To some extent, you get pressure. A lot of pressure. There was a certain time where I did move between gigs, I go left guitar na this place. I left yonder. I will move come on and move go under, all because na me one. So now a good feeling, yes. Everybody want to forget that feeling. But at the end of the day, I realize a lot of people are afraid for play the instrument. I mean, you notice there is a lot of bass guitarists out there than people they play rhythm or lead guitar, we can call a lead. Because a little bit easy for play at the beginning, but when you really want to play and well, a little bit difficult. Well, not a difficult, I not say a little bit difficult. And so a lot of people they balance them. They go start them, but then go balance them. And so because a lot of people are afraid for playing, me now decide to say no, this pauper. I go sabi and go far para. I just say that and I make me outstanding to some extent. But like I say, now a good feeling say yes, one, you did, but if you not focus, there was a certain time where I feel you not focus. There's a certain time where competition no dey. Where monopoly is something they not find. Where competition is something you see me for relax. And say this that no growth not they take place. And so me get for create competition for myself. And how I create that competition for myself now by looking at other guitarists and also hear them. So I get a lot of guitarists where they follow. Okay. I get a lot of guitarists when I'm in age where they follow and then other country there. So we get a forum more, we talk, we go send things. So I challenge myself with young guitarists today. I challenge myself with exercises. I challenge myself with people that will say, I like this solo way John Mayer, for example, play. I want for Sabia for player. So now so the challenge starts say, if I listen this thing and really difficult, okay, I really want for Sabi play giant steps. I really want for Sabi play this. So I take me time and learn, and when I Sabi play, I know say I don't go because I don't learn a new thing. So for me, it was creating competition. Me creating competition for myself because there was really no competition.
Okay, so now this players one way or the other, I believe say it is one of the things that might have sprung up with things like the jazz concept you do.
Yeah.
So I want to make you tell people out there what is jazz concept all about? Why you come up with them? Of course, we don't know now. Say none of the reasons then is because they are not much, and it feels like there's no competition. Sometimes the pressure is on you. So you see, I'm saying as there is a need for get some people involved and learn it. So from your own perception, let people hear what is jazz concept in general and why is it formed?
Okay, so the jazz, first of all, come from jazz music. Me and I personally really like jazz, and I really concentrate my efforts in music for learn elements and aspects of jazz. We actually learn and they affect every other area of your music life. And so, waiting come up with the concept, I notice a lot of people they come to me for make I learn them and everything, and I get this idea I say I want to make in the future. Let's say I will be one of the countries in the sub-region where music education, where they go, they look out to we as the Athens of West Africa for education and look up to we and say, if I want music education, that kind of Sierra Leone, you understand? I'm not saying that a dream was really big. Some parts of I know I will get it, some parts of I really know I will get it. But the jazz concept basically it built around music education, music charity. It built around that one because I want to make in the future when you spark the interest of children, like picking them at a young age. Some man you're not gonna know 10, 15, 20, 25 years from now, that interest them don't get at a young age, now in the growing them. Yeah. So same like how we get agriculture and school say teach agriculture, I want to make a jazz concept be that organization they foster music education at schools, music education at churches, music education at the community, make instruments available to people. So it's more like it's a bit like we NGO day, but
so if somebody want to get in touch with jazz concept, you can tell people then how you're able to get in touch right now.
Yeah, you can check my Facebook a jazzy concept, a whole page with it, or you can email me at a jazzyconcept@gmail.com, a jazzyconcept@gmail.com. You can email me there, or you can even message me at the number we would at the end of this video.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So two final questions. One, we are living in a world where people don't value mentorship. And personally, I believe mentorship is needed for everybody who want to go from one level to another. Because there's just a need for let somebody guide your life.
True.
Because humans by ourselves, we can be misled sometimes, even by real hearts.
Yeah.
The Bible says even real hearts, they deceive, we self. So who can you say is your mentor? Or sometimes I break it down because some people might not have mentors, but have like role models. So who can you say is yours? Or who are yours?
Make I drop something quick.
Okay.
You cannot be great without following the greats. You understand? Because nothing not the way you do now.
You know, new thing.
When a new thing. So if you really want to be great, you really get to take your time and learn from the greats. So talking about mentors, well, I get people away musically, them how they live their life, what they don't achieve. I they look up to like the likes of B.B. King, we don't die, we are one of the greats in blues. A person way I look up to the likes of John Coltrane. A person way I look up to, and people the way I study their music life. I get other people and they like Carl Franklin, where then they why notice they take their career from this point, you understand, to this point. When it comes to guitar, I get a lot of people and why they follow, because waiting bad is when you're not chef, but now one grain meal you sabi cook. One day when they put it against you. So now the same thing they deal with music. If you're not a musician, you get to be able for
Different genres.
perform. I don't say equally, but almost equally in different situations. So in music we get different genres there. You're not gonna find make it just based you playing or singing per one, because it will be very disadvantaged. So for a set of genres or a set of genre, I get people why they look up. For me, I listen to a lot of Bob Marley. For me, Bob Marley is a great prophet. People can dispute with that, but for me, is a great prophet. So I can listen to a guitar part and song, a replicator. For blues, I get people that listen. I get John Mayer, I get B.B. King, I get Kingfish, and the people in the Boku way I really listen to when it comes to the area
So
of blues.
it's divided by the genre or by the sector we they look at. You
Yes,
understand?
because even if you sabi all things, there's one thing where they
We are mostly ignorant in one thing.
fine.
No matter what.
Where you wait yourself.
No
So
matter how educated you are.
you go mostly ignorant in one. So you go whatever thing you go major in back. So people that they major in all in classical music and everything. People the way they do contemporary music, not they listen classical music. Where you don't go listen every day, but you will listen for learn
1, 2, 3,
a lot of
things,
things. Because if we talk about Beethoven, we talk about Bach, we talk about Handel, we talk about all those people. Even then, great composers there. Where you break down and compositions, everything they do, you actually be able to use that effectively in contemporary styles. So I think to say for musicians out there, not just based your music on now, based on waiting don't pass. Because waiting don't pass, you will really learn a lot which will affect you now.
Okay. All right. So finally, we actually reality lab the project of the reading culture of our society. When I believe
What?
Reading culture.
Okay.
The reading culture of society. We believe it a loss. But I believe that for everybody, we don't go through the sessions of reality lab. We want to believe say they are eloquent people and they are readers. And after all you have said, I want to believe that you're a reader. So can you like ask, what is your all-time best book?
Okay. All-time best. All-time. Okay, so I get a book, Common Sense, by Thomas Paine. So where they talk about, say, the greatest folly of humanity, my government. Say, because mortal man not able for live with your morals. We're not able to live with your morals, so we create government where they put we under suppression. At the end of the day, we they revere them people and they as if na higher human beings. And then say they look upon we as peasants. You understand? So it they equate you can remember the story of Israel and the king how they get Saul. They look at the hidden nations and they say we want to get kings like the hidden nations. And God tell them they say this king will take away your sons, he will take away your fields, your everything. So that system of government don't always be erroneous because we're not able to live orderly. We need person for tell we waiting for do. For team we. So Thomas Paine, one of my all-time best. And there's another book named The Manipulated Man. I don't really call the author, but na a really good book where they talk about the repercussions of the wrong feminist idea and how it affects man, and how man whole life all what they do na for woman. Great book, The Manipulated Man.
Okay. All right, that's fine. And I believe a lot of people out there might have learned a lot. To get in contact with HAROLD NAT-Johnson, you can look at your screen right now and you could get the email and the social media platforms. And also, we want to say you need to subscribe and like Reality Lab TV on all social media platforms. It has been great having Mr. HAROLD NAT-Johnson. Thank you for being here with us. Until next time, join us, Reality Lab TV of Untold Stories. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
We live in a world where all the things we face are of no news. That is to say, there is nothing new you're going through that someone hasn't gone through before, which means all our circumstances are answerable. So we ask, is there something bothering you that you need answers to? Situations you think you can be removed from? No sober motivations to get you started? This is why we bring you Untold Stories. Stories that mean that have been hidden all this while. Together with our guests, we wish to let out the stories we know are similar to yours and showing ways they can be overcome. Log in to Facebook and YouTube every Thursday at 8 p.m. on Reality Lab TV as we delve proper into these stories we are certain can spur you up to full actualization. Discover yourself now. Reality Lab TV, your journey to self-discovery.